Season 3 of Picard wrapped last week, and I've given people a week to catch up, make sure they've watched it all, and I don't need to worry so much about spoilers. I feel really guilty covering up like Will and Raffi here, but hey-ho. But the fact that I'm talking about people like Will Riker and, all of those people who are slightly behind me now, it definitely is Next Generation Season 8 in a lot of ways. And I'm still not sure how I feel about that. I get it, I totally appreciate it, and I know this is something that, or I'm fairly sure this is something that was pushed upon Patrick Stewart. I didn't realise a long time ago, when I was watching the first 2 seasons, that his executive producer role also meant that he was guiding what the stories were going to be, etc. And he didn't want the TNG reunion show. That wasn't something he wanted. But with the poor review and reactions to particularly the previous season, I think it was pushed upon him. Look, we need to do this because we need to get people back watching. We've got a 3-season deal. Don't worry about, but I can't do this. It doesn't matter. This is the last year. We're wrapping up. Let's do it this way. And I mean, you can tell they all like each other. I don't think it was a case of I don't want to do the TNG reunion show because I don't like them. It was this is meant to be an exploration of Picard. And I respect that on some levels, but obviously if it isn't working, then this'll do. And meeting up again after so long with some of these characters. Obviously we've had some of them appear. Will appeared a bit, during this, and he's appeared in Lower Decks, etc. We've had Brent Spiner come back and do multiple roles of the Sung family and Data-style androids. I guess technically B4-style androids because he came first. B4, yeah. But you know what I mean. Those kind of Sung-type androids. But everyone else, it's been here's new people. I posted on Facebook as soon as we saw Mika Burton appear. I was like, watching her and her dad play father-daughter is giving me such joyous feelings. And unlike previous seasons of Picard, where as much as I enjoyed them for the most part, I understood the complaints about pandering, about sort of forcing things, and sort of the pacing being really off in some places, etc. But this has definitely been a massive course correction. And like I say, I never felt it was super bad, like some people did. There are some people who really hated the early seasons. But I understand it, and compared to this, yes, I totally get it. This was much better. It was a lot more fun, the pacing was better. Having a wider cast actually allowed more to happen, if that makes any sense. Like Gates McFadden coming back and being such a crucial part of it, not just being sidelined like in the TNG era films, but the introduction of Ed Spaliers also as, Jack Crusher, the younger. It's one of those weird things where it's like, that's Picard's old mate who was Beverly's husband, who died, and that's what she's named her son for, but she was raising her son in isolation away from Picard. So, tough, if he doesn't like it. But I don't think he had a problem with it from what we saw absolutely in the series. It's a good way of marking his friend. It's a mark of respect. I'm disappointed that maybe we didn't get Wesley come back in some form. I know we had him at the end of last season, but it felt a bit tacked on, I will agree. But I really did enjoy this year for the most part. I thought it was well handled. The pacifist Worf was absolutely delightful. I was very concerned about what they were going to do with bringing Lore back, and the Moriarty bit was literally fan service. I will agree with that. It was teased so much in the trailer, I thought maybe this could be a big bad. But no, it was literally just a security part of the Daystrom Institute. I was disappointed in that. But I did like what they did, like folding them all in, and that scene in his mind, his neural net mind, I guess, but yeah, that scene where the fight is happening, and I immediately cottoned onto it. Not immediately, okay, that's self-aggrandizing too much. I figured it out fairly quickly. I noticed, he's like, oh, this is the memory of this, have this. This is the memory of this, have this. It was given freely. He wasn't fighting it. And okay, it's Data. He's not going to fight. He's very much a pacifist. But he will fight if he thinks it's worthwhile, and his own life, surely, is worthwhile. So I was expecting the turnaround and just like, no, now you understand. I've told you what they mean to me, and now you hold those memories. So therefore I'm not gone. And it enabled Lore to feel something other than hate and resentment and just this distrust of others. And it was a beautiful moment, if a little cliche in some ways, but I still appreciated it. All of the characters, I think, got treated very well as a way of sending them off. And although she's not featured anywhere that I can see on this poster, Marina Sirtis coming back as Deanna Troi as well, and showing that bit we saw on Nepenthe that's not really what the Rikers are at this point in time. They are suffering still. They are, saddened by the loss of their son, but they do still clearly have a lot of love for each other and for their daughter, Kestra. It's a shame we didn't see again, but shoehorning in, it would have been so. But one of the big standouts for me, or two of the big standouts, are people who we've not seen in this before. That's Todd Stashwick as Shaw, and of course Amanda Plummer as Vadic. And Todd Stashwick did it so well. He started as this completely unlikable, I don't care about you, Captain and Admiral Riker and Picard, respectively. I know your exploits. You've destroyed so much stuff. You've crashed ships, all this kind of stuff. Why should I bow down at your feet? You put people in danger. And it's such a good point. A lot of the shows and films we saw, and we saw it obviously with the Avengers series, with the Sokovia Accords, if you're causing a lot of collateral damage, are you doing more harm than good? It's a very interesting ethical question. But I think doing things for the right reason sometimes can cause negative results. There is the term collateral damage for a reason. It happens. As much as we don't want it to, it does. And we can't get around that. There is no fixing those mistakes. We can do our best to prevent harm, but sometimes it will happen with the best of intentions. And before I talk about Amanda Plummer, I did forget one recurring or revisiting cast member, and that's Jerry Ryan as 7 of 9. But I wanted to save that till the end. I realised people would probably be already in the comments going, you haven't mentioned Jerry Ryan, so she will be coming at the end. There is a very good reason for that. If you know me, you'll know what it probably is. But yeah, Amanda Plummer as Vadic, and the reveal of the changelings. I know some people have gone, I thought this was TNG reunion show, not the DS9 reunion show. But we've got 7 of 9. There's a Voyager influence and there's other things in there. So if that's your only problem, I understand it, but having something TNG related reference things that happened in the other shows surely sells the fact that this is one universe. This is one reality, one canon. So I have no problem with it. People aren't complaining that things show up in other shows. And like I say, selling that. I mean, yeah, Borg is Picard's thing, and that does come into it later. But why not the changelings as well? Why not bring that stuff in? It's not like they brought the Hirogen in, or anything like that, or, God forbid, the Kazon or Delta Quadrant Klingons. Someone else coined that term. It's not mine, but I totally agreed when I heard it. But she excelled in this. She brought such an over-the-top sort of hamminess, but reined in enough that it wasn't ridiculous. She revelled in tormenting Picard. She revelled in all of this, that she was doing to this crew. And it was just such a fun ride. She was so good in every moment. But then realising that she also is the product of badness. This is why she's doing it. She has suffered herself at the hands of solids, as they call them. And so these changelings, these altered changelings, wanted revenge and obviously worked with the Borg to facilitate that and take control of Starfleet. Did I like that idea, the sort of organic Borg? Borganic? No, do not coin that term. Never say that again. I don't like it. I was testing it out. But these organic Borg things, did I like that really? No, because Borg is like cyborg, cybernetic organism. It implies technological elements, whereas this was very much like a biology control thing. I did like the fact that they used a transport buffer. I did appreciate that a lot to actually because I like, why is it affecting everyone? And it's because of the transport buffer. I love it. I love that idea. Totally with that. The rest of it I could do without. And having Espaliers as Jack the Younger there in this weird robo suit that was very evocative of Locutus. I mean, calling him Vox as well, voice instead of the speaker. Very on the nose. Not a fan of that. That was one of the biggest downsides to me. The fact that we're like, oh, look, it's like Locutus, but different. It's not that different, though, is it? You could have called him anything. You could have called him, Mens, Mind, something like that. No, you chose to call him Voice instead of Speaker, and it was a similar, even have the laser appendage on the same side of the face. No, did not appreciate, but I loved hearing Alice back. I don't want to say her surname because someone will tell me it's wrong. You know her surname. The Borg Queen, the one that we all know. I mean, obviously losing Annie Wershing from last year is sad. It would have been nice if she was the physical representation, and maybe sort of could have doubled up the voice with her and Alice's voice, sort of layered. That would have been cool. But the stand-in they got here was fine. She seemed to look close enough. I mean, you know the face of the original Borg Queen, but it was fine enough. But yeah, this season was a good course correction, and I think it sets up the future rather well. I did want to obviously circle back to the 7 of 9 thing, because I'm stupid. I'm very, very stupid. I, as you may know, live in this kind of trans world, in the sort of middle of it, if you will, in the non-binary area. And I didn't click about dead naming, and I feel awful. But I think it's because I was wrapped up in the story. I mean, I hated the fact that Shaw was doing it to her, but it didn't click why I hated it. Let's put it that way. The emotion was there, just the logic wasn't. Maybe that's part of my neurodivergent literalism, I don't know. But when I found out about it, when I heard about it, I went, oh, of course. And that's why I had to mention it, and why I wanted to leave it until towards the end. Because I really feel awful that I didn't spot that sooner. Have I done that in life, where I've seen people being dead named and not clicked? I don't know, I probably haven't, let's be honest, but it's that moment of, I should have been aware of that, I should have acknowledged that, I should have taken it on board. And I know it doesn't matter. Leave your comments of, don't worry about it, it's not real. I should be more aware of this. That's just a failing on me, although I have had the whole uni thing going on, so maybe that's taken some of my brain space. But I liked how it was handled, and the fact that Sydney, Crash LaForge, was instrumental in making sure that she used her name that she wanted. Annika Hansen isn't who she is anymore. She is 7 of 9, ex-Borg. That is the name that she's chosen. She could have chosen to go back to Annika, but she didn't. And him not respecting that is the same as people being dead named. I get it now, and like I say, I'm stupid. But I do want to end... I know I don't normally like to end on a low note, or on a bad thing, but it's how the series ended. The emotional impact of the end of last season, of having John Delancey as Q go, you were always my friend, I'm glad you're here with me at the end, I'm going to send you back to your time so you can sort this all out. And then appearing at the end, it's like, but you died, and the whole, but you died, time, why do you think of time so linearly? And I get it, it's like, it's the next generation kind of thing, like we're kind of setting that up, it feels. We could have Picard's son on a voyage, in the future, on this rechristened ship, Enterprise G. But do we need to? And do we need to do it in that way? I'd be happy with the series happening, let's put it that way. I'd be happy with the further adventures of Picard and Crusher's son. That is fine, that's not the bit that I have a problem with. It's shoehorning Q in. I mean, I like seeing John Delancey, I'm not going to lie, that's fine, but just don't shoehorn it in. But I will not end with that being the last thing I say. I will say that was just a black mark on an otherwise excellent season. Few missteps, but that'll happen everywhere. And I'm sad to see it end, but we'll see what the future brings. Let's see what the next few shows are. I know Discovery's ending with its next season as well, so we'll pretty much just have Strange New Worlds that we know of for a while in the live action sphere. Never talked about Lower Decks because it never really grabbed me as much. I enjoy it, but maybe at some point, once I've caught up, I might do one on that, and Prodigy, I'll finally have a chance to. So maybe those will come in the future, but they're certainly, as far as we're aware now, unless anything drastic changes, this is the last time that I'll be talking about Star Trek Picard. It's definitely a period of endings for me. But thank you very much for letting me talk about that. I know I've rambled on far too long, I'm very sorry. But I wanted to give everyone their due. So thank you very much for that, and as always, until next time, take care. Or should I say, engage.